Why do we stay in relationships that don't serve us? It's a question that lingers in the quiet moments when the distractions fade and the truth becomes impossible to ignore. The answer lies deep within the layers of fear, habit, and unmet needs that keep us tethered to what feels familiar, even when it's unhealthy. We convince ourselves that love is supposed to be hard, that struggle is proof of commitment, and that walking away means giving up on something that might someday work. But here's the reality. Staying in a relationship out of fear isn't loyalty, it's self-betrayal. And the longer you stay, the more you lose pieces of yourself until there's little left to rebuild. Fear of loneliness is one of the most powerful forces keeping people trapped in unfulfilling connections. The thought of being alone, of facing the world without someone by your side, can feel unbearable. Loneliness whispers lies, that you're unworthy, that no one else will ever come along, that settling is better than nothing. But loneliness isn't the enemy. Staying in a relationship that drains your spirit is. Loneliness heals with time, but compromising your worth leaves scars that run far deeper. You deserve more than just someone to fill the silence. You deserve someone who fills your soul, who makes you feel alive, and who reminds you why love is worth the risk. Low self-esteem plays its part too, quietly convincing you that you don't deserve better. It tells you that his indifference is normal, that his inconsistency is acceptable, that his lack of effort is something you should tolerate because maybe, just maybe, you're not good enough to demand anything more. But let this sink in, your value isn't negotiable. It doesn't depend on how much someone else chooses to give or withhold. You are inherently worthy of love that feels safe, secure, and certain. If you've been carrying the weight of believing otherwise, now is the moment to set that burden down. Your worth doesn't need validation, it's already yours. Past trauma also has a way of shaping our choices, often without us realizing it. Maybe you grew up watching love defined by sacrifice rather than mutual care. Maybe you learned to equate pain with passion, chaos with connection, or neglect with normalcy. These patterns become ingrained, influencing the relationships you attract and accept as adults. But awareness is the first step toward breaking free. Recognizing how your past shapes your present empowers you to rewrite the narrative, to redefine what love looks like for you. Love isn't meant to mirror your wounds, it's meant to heal them. And healing starts with choosing differently today than you did yesterday. Comfort zones play their role as well, pulling you back into what's known even when it's harmful. Humans are wired to seek familiarity because it feels safer than uncertainty. But safety doesn't always mean healthy. Staying in a complicated relationship because it's predictable keeps you stuck in a cycle that stifles growth. Growth requires stepping into the unknown, embracing discomfort, and trusting that the temporary unease of change is worth the long-term reward of finding something better. Real love waits beyond the edges of your comfort zone. It's waiting for you to claim it. Now imagine choosing yourself. Imagine deciding that your peace matters more than his approval, that your happiness is non-negotiable, that your dreams deserve space to breathe. This decision isn't selfish, it's necessary. It's understanding that loving yourself fully opens the door for someone else to love you authentically. When you prioritize your well-being, you send a clear message: I am not here to settle, I am here to thrive. And thriving begins with letting go of what no longer serves you. Letting go doesn't mean failure, it means freedom. Freedom from the constant questioning, the emotional exhaustion, the endless pursuit of crumbs when you deserve a feast. It means creating space for something or someone better to enter your life. This space won't remain empty for long. The universe responds to clarity, to intention, to the energy you put out into the world. When you release what's broken, you make room for what's whole. Trust that the right person will come, not because you forced it, but because you aligned yourself with the love you truly deserve. As you reflect on these truths, remember this: change begins with a single choice. A choice to honor your worth, protect your heart, and invest in your future. Every step you take toward releasing what's holding you back brings you closer to discovering what's waiting ahead. Love that feels effortless, fulfilling, and true exists, not as a fantasy, but as a possibility within reach. All it takes is courage. The courage to believe in yourself, to trust the process, and to embrace the journey towards something extraordinary. Keep listening, because the tools to create that future are unfolding before you, guiding you toward the clarity and confidence you need to step into the love you were born to experience. Red flags often come disguised as excuses, wrapped in layers of rationalization that make them seem harmless. He just needs space, you tell yourself. He's going through a tough time, you reason. He had a difficult childhood, you justify. But here's the truth. Red flags aren't negotiable. They're signals, bright flashing warnings that something isn't right. Ignoring them doesn't make them disappear. It only gives them permission to grow, to take root, and to manifest in ways that hurt even more down the line. Love shouldn't ask you to overlook what your instincts are screaming at you to notice. Real love respects your boundaries, honors your concerns, and addresses issues head-on instead of brushing them under the rug. Think about the patterns you've been excusing, the broken promises, the inconsistent behavior, the moments when respect feels like an afterthought. Maybe he says he'll change but never follows through. Maybe he apologizes for hurting you but repeats the same mistakes over and over again. These aren't isolated incidents. They're indicators of deeper truths. Patterns rarely lie. If someone shows you who they are, believe them. Their actions speak louder than any apology or empty vow ever could. Trust is built through consistency, not words, and if trust feels fragile, then it's time to ask why. Let's talk about excuses and how they keep you tethered to situations that don't align with your worth. Excuses act as distractions, pulling your focus away from the reality of what's happening. They shift responsibility from the other person onto you, making you question whether you're being too harsh, too critical, or too demanding. But here's the hard truth. Holding someone accountable isn't unfair. It's necessary. You have every right to expect honesty, effort, and respect in return for the love you give. Anything less isn't love, it's compromise. And compromise without balance leads to resentment. Resentment is a silent poison, seeping into your heart and mind until it colors everything you see. It starts small, a fleeting thought, a twinge of frustration, but grows over time as you suppress your feelings, silence your voice, and convince yourself that staying is better than leaving. But staying out of obligation or fear doesn't protect you, it traps you. Resentment doesn't fade on its own, it festers, building walls where there should be bridges. The antidote? Boundaries. Clear, firm boundaries that protect your peace and remind you that your needs matter just as much as his. Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's self-preservation. Now imagine standing firm in those boundaries. Imagine refusing to accept behavior that diminishes your worth or disregards your feelings. Picture saying no, not out of anger, but out of clarity, and watching how it changes the dynamic. When you stop excusing red flags, you reclaim your power. You stop giving energy to what drains you and start investing in what uplifts you. This shift doesn't happen overnight, but each step you take brings you closer to a life where love feels safe, secure, and unconditional. A life where you're celebrated, not tolerated. But let's be honest, confronting red flags takes courage, especially when they're tied to someone you care about deeply. It's tempting to cling to hope, to believe that things will improve, to hold on to the version of him you wish existed rather than accepting the one standing before you. Hope is beautiful, but misplaced hope keeps you stuck. Staying in a relationship defined by red flags isn't patience. It's denial. And denial robs you of the opportunity to create something better, something real, something aligned with the love you deserve. Breaking free from this cycle begins with acknowledging the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it feels. Start by listing the behaviors you've been excusing, the ones that leave you feeling uneasy, disrespected, or undervalued. Write them down, name them for what they are, and remind yourself that these aren't quirks or phases. They're choices, and choices reflect character. Once you see the pattern clearly, you can begin detaching emotionally, creating distance between yourself and the toxicity that's been weighing you down. Detachment isn't cold or cruel, it's compassionate. It's choosing to prioritize your well-being over someone else's inability to show up fully. As you move forward, remember this. Letting go of red flags doesn't mean giving up on love. It means making room for the right kind of love. Love that doesn't require you to lower your standards, sacrifice your dignity, or ignore your intuition. Love that feels like home, not chaos. Love that builds you up, not tears you apart. That kind of love exists, and it starts with recognizing your worth and refusing to settle for anything less. Keep listening, because the tools to identify and release red flags are unfolding before you, guiding you toward the clarity and confidence you need to embrace the extraordinary love you were born to experience. Clarity is a gift, one that too many people overlook in their pursuit of love. It's the light that cuts through the fog of confusion, the anchor that steadies you when emotions threaten to pull you under. When you have clarity, you don't second guess his intentions or wonder where you stand. You simply know, and knowing brings peace, a deep, unshakable sense of certainty that allows you to move forward with confidence. Clarity isn't just comforting, it's empowering. It gives you the freedom to make decisions from a place of strength rather than fear, to act with intention rather than desperation. Love doesn't thrive in chaos, it thrives in clarity. Think about the moments when you felt most secure in a relationship. Chances are, those moments were rooted in transparency. He told you how he felt without hesitation. He showed up when he said he would, proving his words with actions. There was no guessing game, no decoding hidden meanings, no sleepless nights spent analyzing every interaction. Transparency creates trust, and trust creates safety. Without clarity, relationships become mazes of uncertainty, leaving you lost and searching for exits that may not exist. But when you choose clarity over confusion, you choose liberation over limitation. Now, imagine applying this clarity not just to your relationship, but to yourself. Imagine looking inward with the same level of honesty and awareness. What do you truly want? What are your non-negotiables? What boundaries must be respected for you to feel valued and loved? These questions aren't always easy to answer, especially if you've spent years prioritizing someone else's needs over your own. But here's the truth. You can't build a healthy relationship without first understanding your own worth. Clarity starts within. It begins with knowing yourself deeply enough to recognize what fulfills you and what drains you. Once you have that self-awareness, you can approach love from a place of abundance, not scarcity. Let's talk about why so many people resist clarity, even though it's exactly what they need. Fear plays a role. Fear of facing uncomfortable truths, fear of losing something familiar, fear of being alone. Clarity demands accountability, both from yourself and from others. And accountability can feel daunting. It forces you to confront realities you might prefer to ignore, to let go of illusions that once brought comfort. But here's the paradox. Embracing clarity doesn't take things away, it gives them back. It returns your power, your agency, your voice. It reminds you that you are the architect of your life, capable of designing a future that reflects your highest aspirations. And yet, clarity isn't always immediate. Sometimes it comes in waves, revealing itself gradually as you peel back layers of doubt and fear. That's okay. Growth happens in stages, not leaps. What matters is that you stay committed to seeking clarity, even when the path feels uncertain. Trust the process. Trust that every step you take toward understanding yourself and your needs brings you closer to the love you deserve. The journey may be challenging, but the destination, a life filled with authenticity, connection, and joy, is worth every effort. As you continue to seek clarity, remember this: simplicity is the hallmark of true love. Love shouldn't feel like deciphering a code or navigating a labyrinth. It should feel like coming home, like finding a space where you can rest, recharge, and be fully yourself. If you're constantly working to figure him out, then pause and ask yourself why. Why are you investing so much energy into someone who hasn't made things clear? Why are you tolerating ambiguity when clarity is your birthright? Real love doesn't leave you questioning. It leaves you certain. Certain of his feelings, certain of your value, certain of the future you're building together. Breaking free from the cycle of confusion requires courage, but it also requires faith. Faith in yourself, faith in your worth, faith in the possibility of something better. When you choose clarity, you send a powerful message to the universe and to yourself that you are ready for love that feels effortless, not exhausting. You begin to attract relationships that align with your values, your goals, and your vision for the future. These relationships won't demand sacrifice. They'll celebrate growth. They won't leave you guessing. They'll leave you glowing. This transformation doesn't happen passively. It takes effort, awareness, and a willingness to challenge old beliefs. But every choice you make in favor of clarity strengthens your foundation, preparing you for the extraordinary love waiting on the other side. Keep listening, because the tools to embrace clarity are unfolding before you, guiding you toward the confidence and conviction you need to step into the love you were born to experience. Clarity is your compass, and it's pointing you toward a future brighter than you ever imagined. Self-worth isn't something you earn, it's something you embody. It's the quiet confidence that whispers, "I am enough," even when the world feels loud and uncertain. Yet somewhere along the way, many of us lose sight of this truth. We tie our value to external validation, seeking approval from others to fill the void within. But here's the reality. No amount of someone else's affection can compensate for a lack of self-respect. If you don't value yourself deeply and unapologetically, you'll settle for relationships that reflect that belief. Relationships that leave you questioning your worth instead of celebrating it. The love you attract is a mirror of the love you give yourself. Think about how you treat yourself on a daily basis. Do you speak kindly to yourself, or do you criticize every flaw? Do you honor your needs, or do you push them aside to please others? These choices shape your relationship with yourself, and in turn, they shape the relationships you build with others. When you prioritize your well-being, set boundaries, and refuse to tolerate disrespect, you send a clear message: I matter. And when you believe that fully, others will too. Self-worth isn't just an internal state, it's a magnetic force that draws people who respect and admire you into your life. Let's talk about why self-worth is so essential in love. Love thrives on mutual admiration, not imbalance. When you know your value, you don't accept less than you deserve. You don't chase someone who's inconsistent, beg for attention, or tolerate behavior that undermines your dignity. Instead, you choose partners who see your light and refuse to dim it. You attract people who celebrate your strengths, support your growth, and meet you with the same level of care and effort you offer them. This kind of love doesn't happen by accident. It happens because you've made the conscious decision to honor yourself first. But building self-worth isn't always easy, especially if you've spent years doubting your value. Maybe you've been told explicitly or implicitly that you're not good enough, smart enough, or worthy enough. Maybe you've carried those words like weights, letting them define how you see yourself and what you believe you deserve. Here's the hard truth. Those voices aren't yours to keep. They belong to people who didn't understand your worth, but you don't have to carry them anymore. Reclaiming your self-worth starts with challenging those old beliefs and replacing them with new ones. Ones that say, I am worthy of love that feels safe, secure, and unconditional. This journey begins with small, intentional actions. Start by paying attention to how you speak to yourself. Are your thoughts kind or are they critical? Would you say the same things to a friend that you say to yourself? Treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding you'd offer someone you love. Celebrate your wins no matter how small. Acknowledge your progress even when it feels slow. Every step you take toward valuing yourself is a step toward creating a life where love feels abundant, not scarce. Now, imagine standing firmly in your self-worth. Imagine refusing to settle for anything less than extraordinary love because you know you deserve it. Picture walking away from relationships that drain your spirit, not out of anger, but out of clarity. When you value yourself, you stop giving energy to what diminishes you and start investing in what uplifts you. This shift doesn't happen overnight, but each choice you make brings you closer to a future where love feels effortless, not exhausting. A future where you wake up knowing you're seen, valued, and cherished for exactly who you are. But let's be honest, owning your worth can feel terrifying. It forces you to confront fears of rejection, abandonment, and inadequacy. It challenges you to let go of relationships that no longer serve you, even when they feel familiar. Breaking free from these patterns takes courage, but it also takes trust. Trust that you are worthy of love that honors your boundaries, respects your dreams, and celebrates your individuality. Trust that the right person will come, not because you forced it, but because you aligned yourself with the love you truly deserve. As you embrace your self-worth, remember this: love starts with you. It's not selfish to prioritize your happiness, it's necessary. When you pour love into yourself, you create a foundation strong enough to support any relationship you choose to build. You stop looking for someone to complete you and start inviting someone to complement you. This subtle shift changes everything. It transforms love from a source of anxiety into a source of joy, from a burden into a blessing. This transformation doesn't happen passively. It requires effort, awareness, and a willingness to challenge old beliefs. but every moment you spend nurturing your self-worth brings you closer to the extraordinary love waiting for you. Keep listening, because the tools to cultivate this worth are unfolding before you, guiding you toward the clarity and confidence you need to step into the love you were born to experience. Self-worth is your anchor, and it's holding you steady as you navigate the path to a future filled with possibility, connection, and joy. Breaking free from toxic patterns is one of the bravest acts of self-love you can undertake. It's a declaration, a bold statement to yourself and the world that you refuse to settle for anything less than extraordinary. But let's be clear, breaking free doesn't mean walking away without pain or fear. It means walking despite them. It means choosing growth over comfort, courage over complacency, and possibility over limitation. Love that feels heavy, complicated, or draining isn't love. It's a lesson. And sometimes, the most powerful lessons come wrapped in the hardest goodbyes. Think about what keeps you tethered to unhealthy cycles. The fear of starting over, the hope that things will change, the belief that leaving means failing. These thoughts are natural, but they're not truths. Staying in a relationship out of fear isn't strength, it's stagnation. Hope isn't a strategy, it's a feeling. And failure isn't walking away from something that doesn't serve you. It's staying in something that diminishes your spirit. When you reframe these beliefs, you begin to see that freedom isn't found in holding on, but in letting go. Letting go creates space for something better, something real, something aligned with the love you deserve. The brain has a way of clinging to familiarity, even when it's harmful. Habituation bias tricks us into believing that what's known is safer than what's unknown, even if what's known is slowly eroding our happiness. This is why breaking free feels so difficult. It's not just about leaving someone else. It's about confronting the parts of yourself that resist change, the part that fears loneliness, that craves validation, that worries about judgment. But here's the truth. Discomfort is temporary, but regret is permanent. Every moment you spend resisting freedom is a moment stolen from the life you were meant to live, a life filled with joy, connection, and fulfillment. Now imagine stepping into that life. Imagine releasing the weight of trying to fix what's broken, and instead focusing on creating something new. Picture yourself surrounded by people who uplift you, inspire you, and remind you of your worth. Envision waking up each day knowing you're loved not for what you do, but for who you are. This vision isn't fantasy, it's possibility. And possibility begins with action. Action fueled by the understanding that you are worthy of love that feels safe, secure, and unconditional. Love that doesn't require you to shrink, sacrifice, or settle. But taking action requires clarity, and clarity requires honesty. Be honest with yourself about what's working and what's not. Ask yourself, does this relationship bring me peace or chaos? Or does it make me feel valued or invisible? Am I growing alongside this person or am I growing apart? These questions aren't meant to judge him. They're meant to guide you toward understanding whether this relationship honors your worth. If the answers leave you feeling uneasy, trust that feeling. It's pointing you toward a truth you already know deep down. Love should add to your life, not subtract from it. As you prepare to take the first step toward freedom, remember this: breaking free isn't just an act of leaving, it's an act of becoming. Becoming someone who prioritizes their well-being, sets boundaries, and refuses to tolerate disrespect. Becoming someone who values themselves enough to demand clarity, consistency, and care. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, but every choice you make brings you closer to the extraordinary love waiting for you. Keep listening, because the tools to embrace this journey are unfolding before you, guiding you toward the confidence and conviction you need to step into the love you were born to experience. Freedom isn't the absence of fear, it's the presence of courage. Courage to face the unknown, to trust yourself, and to believe in the possibility of something better. When you choose freedom, you reclaim your power. You stop giving energy to what drains you and start investing in what uplifts you. This shift changes everything. It transforms love from a source of anxiety into a source of joy, from a burden into a blessing. Freedom isn't easy, but it's worth it. Worth the discomfort, the uncertainty, the tears, and the triumph that comes on the other side. This journey toward freedom is yours to claim. It starts with a single step, a single decision to honor your worth and protect your heart. Each step you take brings you closer to a future where love feels effortless, not exhausting. A future where you wake up knowing you're seen, valued, and cherished for exactly who you are. Keep moving forward because the path to extraordinary love begins now, with the courage to break free from what no longer serves you and embrace the limitless possibilities waiting ahead. Love should add to your life, not subtract from it. It's a simple truth, yet one that so many overlook in their pursuit of connection. When love is real, it amplifies everything beautiful about you. It makes you stronger, braver, more alive. It doesn't dim your light, it shines it brighter. If you're in a relationship that leaves you feeling smaller, quieter, or less than whole, then pause and ask yourself why. Why are you giving energy to something that drains you? Why are you staying in a dynamic that diminishes your spirit instead of lifting it? Love isn't meant to cost you pieces of yourself. It's meant to help you find all the parts you didn't know were missing. Think about how love makes you feel, not just emotionally, but physically, mentally, spiritually. Real love fills your chest with warmth, your mind with clarity, your soul with peace. It inspires you to dream bigger, to reach higher, to become the best version of yourself. Love like this doesn't hold you back, it pushes you forward. It challenges you to grow, yes, but it does so in a way that feels nurturing, not punishing. If you're constantly questioning whether His love is helping you thrive or holding you back, then listen to that inner voice. It already knows the answer. Let's talk about sacrifice, the kind that builds bridges versus the kind that burns them. Healthy relationships require effort, compromise, and mutual support. But there's a fine line between giving and losing yourself. Giving means showing up fully, offering your best while still honoring your boundaries. Losing yourself means abandoning your needs, silencing your voice, and ignoring your instincts, all in the name of keeping someone else happy. If you've been sacrificing your peace, your happiness, or your sense of self to maintain a connection, then stop and reflect. What are you truly holding on to, and at what cost? The cost of unhealthy love is far greater than most realize. It chips away at your confidence, clouds your judgment, and leaves you doubting your worth. Over time, you start believing that love requires suffering, that pain is proof of devotion, that struggle is the price of connection. But here's the hard truth: love shouldn't hurt. Not like this. Love should heal you, not harm you. It should remind you of your strength, not exploit your vulnerabilities. If you're carrying the weight of someone else's inability to show up fully, then set it down. That burden wasn't yours to bear in the first place. Now, imagine choosing differently. Imagine walking away from anything that asks you to shrink, settle, or sacrifice your soul. Picture surrounding yourself with people who celebrate your light, who encourage your growth, who remind you daily of your worth. Envision a love that feels less like a battle and more like a sanctuary, a safe haven where you can be fully yourself without fear of judgment or rejection. This vision isn't out of reach, it's within you. All it takes is the willingness to let go of what no longer serves you and step into the limitless possibilities waiting ahead. As you prepare to make this choice, remember this: saying no to unhealthy love isn't cruel, it's compassionate. It's compassion for yourself, for your future, for the person you're meant to become. It's understanding that you deserve more than scraps of affection, more than fleeting moments of attention, more than promises that never lead to action. You deserve love that feels steady, secure, and unconditional. Love that uplifts you, not tears you down. And that kind of love starts with setting boundaries, clear, firm boundaries that protect your peace and honor your worth. Breaking free from what diminishes you creates space for what elevates you. Every moment you spend untangling yourself from toxic patterns brings you closer to extraordinary love. This process won't always feel easy, but it will always feel worth it. Worth the discomfort, the uncertainty, the sleepless nights spent wondering if you're doing the right thing. Because on the other side of letting go lies freedom. A freedom that allows you to rediscover who you are and embrace the infinite potential within you. This journey toward healthy love begins with small, intentional steps. Start by paying attention to how you feel in your relationship. Do you feel valued, respected, celebrated, or do you feel invisible, neglected, or unworthy? These feelings aren't random, they're signals guiding you toward truth. Trust them. Use them as tools to navigate your path forward. And as you move, keep reminding yourself of this: the love you deserve won't ask you to lose yourself to find it. It will come from someone who sees your light and refuses to dim it, someone who meets you with the same level of care, effort, and devotion you offer them. Keep listening, because the tools to create this future are unfolding before you, guiding you toward the clarity and confidence you need to step into extraordinary love. Love that adds to your life, not subtracts from it. Love that makes you feel whole, not hollow. Love that reminds you every single day of the incredible person you are and the limitless possibilities waiting for you. The journey may be challenging, but the destination, a life filled with authenticity, connection, and joy, is worth every step. Trust your inner voice. It's the compass that guides you toward truth. Deep within, you already know what feels right and what doesn't. You've felt it in the quiet moments when distractions fade and clarity emerges. That nagging feeling, that gut instinct, that whisper telling you something isn't adding up. It's not there to confuse you. It's there to protect you. Your intuition is a gift, one that connects you to your deepest wisdom and highest good. Ignoring it comes at a cost, but honoring it brings freedom. Think about the times you've doubted yourself, questioning whether your instincts were overreacting or imagining things. Maybe you dismissed red flags because they seemed small or inconsequential. Maybe you convinced yourself that giving him the benefit of the doubt was the kinder choice. But here's the reality. Intuition doesn't exaggerate. It doesn't fabricate scenarios or create drama. It simply reflects patterns. Patterns your conscious mind might overlook, but your subconscious recognizes immediately. When something feels off, it is off. Trust that knowing. Trust yourself. Let's talk about why so many people silence their inner voice. Fear plays a role. Fear of being wrong, fear of confrontation, fear of losing something familiar. Society has taught us to prioritize logic over emotion, to dismiss our feelings as irrational or unreliable. But feelings are data. They're signals pointing you toward truths words alone can't convey. Your heart knows before your mind catches up. If you've been ignoring your intuition, now is the time to reconnect with it. Start by listening, not analyzing, not second-guessing, just listening. What is it trying to tell you? What does it want you to see? Now, imagine leaning into that voice. Imagine trusting yourself enough to act on what you feel, even when it scares you. Picture walking away from situations that no longer align with your values, setting boundaries without apology, and choosing relationships that honor your worth. This shift doesn't happen overnight, but every step you take strengthens your connection to your inner wisdom. Each time you trust yourself, you reclaim your power. You stop relying on external validation and start embracing the truth within you. And as you do, you'll notice something remarkable. Life becomes simpler. Decisions feel clearer. Paths once clouded by doubt begin to unfold with certainty. But trusting your intuition requires courage, especially when it leads you away from comfort zones. It asks you to confront fears, let go of excuses, and embrace uncertainty. Breaking free from what feels familiar can be terrifying, but staying stuck is far more costly. Staying means tolerating discomfort, compromising your values, and settling for less than you deserve. Leaving means stepping into the unknown, yes, but it also means stepping into possibility. Possibility for growth, for joy, for extraordinary love. The kind of love that doesn't ask you to question your worth or second-guess your place in someone's life. As you strengthen this connection to your inner voice, remember this: self-trust is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Start small. Pay attention to how you feel in everyday moments. Do certain interactions leave you drained while others energize you? Does his presence bring peace or tension? These subtle cues are guiding you toward alignment with yourself and with the love you deserve. Over time, these observations will build into clarity, helping you make choices that reflect your highest aspirations. This journey toward trusting yourself isn't just about relationships. It's about creating a life rooted in authenticity, a life where you move forward with confidence, knowing you have everything you need within you. When you trust your inner voice, you stop seeking answers outside yourself and start finding them within. You stop waiting for permission to live fully and start granting it to yourself. This transformation changes everything. It transforms love from a source of anxiety into a source of empowerment, from a gamble into a guarantee. Because when you trust yourself, you attract relationships that mirror that trust. Relationships built on mutual respect, admiration, and care. Keep listening, because the tools to cultivate this trust are unfolding before you, guiding you toward the clarity and conviction you need to step into extraordinary love. Love that honors your intuition, respects your boundaries, and celebrates your authenticity. Love that reminds you every single day of the incredible person you are and the limitless possibilities waiting for you. Trust your inner voice. It's leading you exactly where you're meant to go. Building a vision for healthy love begins with clarity, a vivid, unshakable picture of what you truly deserve. Imagine a relationship that feels less like a puzzle and more like home. A connection where respect is non-negotiable, communication flows effortlessly, and kindness is the foundation. This isn't a fantasy, it's a possibility within your reach. Love like this doesn't just happen by chance. It's created through intention, awareness, and an unwavering commitment to honoring your worth. When you know what healthy love looks like, you stop settling for anything less. Think about the qualities that define extraordinary relationships, the ones that make you feel safe, seen, and celebrated. These aren't grand gestures or fleeting highs, they're steady, consistent acts of care. It's knowing he'll listen when you speak, not just hearing, but truly understanding. It's seeing him show up, even when life gets busy, because he prioritizes you without hesitation. It's feeling valued not for what you do, but for who you are. Healthy love isn't loud or dramatic. It's quiet, steady, and profound. And it starts with believing you're worthy of it. Let's talk about why so many people struggle to envision this kind of love. Somewhere along the way, society has conditioned us to lower our standards, to accept crumbs instead of feasts, to equate complexity with depth. Movies, books, and songs romanticize chaos, making us believe that passion requires pain. But here's the truth. Drama isn't devotion, it's distraction. Real love doesn't leave you guessing, it leaves you certain. It doesn't demand sacrifice, it celebrates growth. If you've been holding on to a version of love that feels exhausting, let it go. Replace it with a vision that inspires you, a vision rooted in mutual effort, trust, and joy. Now imagine stepping into that vision. Imagine waking up each day knowing you're loved fully, completely, and unconditionally. Picture yourself surrounded by someone who sees your light and refuses to dim it, someone who amplifies your strengths, supports your dreams, and meets you with the same level of care you offer them. Envision conversations that deepen your connection, moments that remind you of your worth, and a partnership that feels like teamwork, not turmoil. This isn't just a dream, it's a blueprint for the future you deserve. All it takes is the courage to claim it. But building this vision requires action, not just imagination. Start by defining what healthy love means to you, not based on societal expectations or past experiences, but on your deepest values and desires. What makes you feel safe? What brings you peace? What boundaries must be respected for you to feel valued? Write these answers down, hold them close, and use them as a guidepost. Every choice you make should align with this vision. If something or someone doesn't fit, release it. Trust that letting go creates space for what truly belongs. As you move forward, remember this. Extraordinary love starts with self-love. You can't attract a partner who respects your boundaries if you don't set them. You can't expect someone to celebrate your light if you dim it yourself. When you honor your worth, you send a powerful message to the universe and to others that you are ready for love that uplifts, not tears down. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, but every step you take brings you closer to the extraordinary connection waiting for you. This journey toward healthy love isn't just about finding the right person. It's about becoming the right version of yourself. It's about cultivating the confidence to walk away from what no longer serves you and the clarity to recognize what does. It's about trusting your instincts, setting boundaries, and refusing to settle for anything less than extraordinary. Keep listening, because the tools to create this vision are unfolding before you, guiding you toward the clarity and conviction you need to step into the love you were born to experience. Healthy love isn't complicated. It's simple, steady, and secure. It's a lighthouse in a storm guiding you towards safety and peace. It's a reflection of the incredible person you are and the limitless possibilities ahead of you. The journey may be challenging, but the destination, a life filled with authenticity, connection, and joy, is worth every step. Trust yourself, honor your worth, and embrace the extraordinary love waiting for you. Taking action starts today, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. Every moment you spend waiting is a moment stolen from the life you're meant to live. You don't need to have everything figured out to begin moving forward. Clarity doesn't come from standing still, it comes from taking steps, even when the path feels uncertain. The truth is, action creates momentum, and momentum builds confidence. When you choose to act, you reclaim your power. You stop letting fear dictate your choices and start trusting yourself to navigate the unknown. Think about the small, intentional actions you can take today to align with the vision of love you deserve. Maybe it's setting a boundary you've been afraid to voice. Maybe it's walking away from a conversation that diminishes your worth or stepping back from a relationship that no longer serves you. These moments may feel small, but their impact is profound. Each decision you make reinforces your commitment to honoring your values and protecting your peace. Over time, these choices add up, creating a life rooted in authenticity and self-respect. Let's talk about why so many people hesitate to take action. Fear whispers lies, that it's too late, that you're not ready, that change is too hard. It convinces you to stay in situations that drain your spirit because the discomfort of leaving feels scarier than the pain of staying. But here's the truth, staying isn't safe, it's suffocating. Growth requires discomfort, and freedom requires courage. If you wait for the perfect moment, you'll be waiting forever. Perfection doesn't exist, progress does, and progress begins with a single step. Now, imagine taking that step. Imagine saying no to anything that compromises your dignity, your happiness, or your sense of self. Picture yourself choosing differently. Choosing relationships that uplift you, environments that nurture you, and experiences that remind you of your worth. This shift doesn't happen all at once, but every action you take brings you closer to extraordinary love. Love that feels steady, secure, and unconditional. Love that honors your boundaries, respects your dreams, and celebrates your individuality. That kind of love starts with you. As you prepare to take action, remember this. You don't have to do everything at once. Start small. Start simple. Begin by identifying one area of your life where you want to create change. Is it setting clear boundaries? Speaking up for yourself? Letting go of toxic patterns? Focus on that one thing and let it guide your next move. Progress isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about showing up for yourself day after day and trusting that each step you take is leading you closer to the life you deserve. This journey toward action isn't just about relationships. It's about becoming the person you were always meant to be. Someone who prioritizes their well-being, refuses to settle, and embraces the limitless possibilities ahead. When you take action, you send a powerful message to yourself and the world. You are worthy of love that feels effortless, not exhausting. You are worthy of connection that adds to your life, not subtracts from it. And you are worthy of a future filled with joy, authenticity, and fulfillment. Keep listening, because the tools to create this future are unfolding before you, guiding you toward the clarity and conviction you need to step into extraordinary love. Love that aligns with your highest aspirations, respects your boundaries, and celebrates your authenticity. Love that reminds you every single day of the incredible person you are and the limitless potential within you. The journey may be challenging, but the destination, a life filled with connection, purpose, and joy, is worth every step. Take action today because the love you deserve is waiting for you. All it takes is the courage to move forward. Closing words of hope carry a weight that lingers long after the moment has passed. They remind you that no matter how far you've come or how much further you have to go, you are never alone in this journey. Love isn't something you find, it's something you create, nurture, and choose every single day. And the most important love you'll ever experience is the one you give to yourself. When you honor your worth, set boundaries, and trust your instincts, you align yourself with extraordinary possibilities. You open the door to connections that reflect the beauty within you, relationships that feel safe, secure, and deeply fulfilling. Think about the life waiting for you on the other side of fear, the life where love feels effortless, not exhausting. Imagine waking up each morning knowing you're celebrated for exactly who you are, flaws and all. Picture surrounding yourself with people who see your light and refuse to dim it, who meet you with kindness, respect, and unwavering support. This vision isn't out of reach, it's already yours to claim. All it takes is the courage to believe in yourself and the willingness to take the steps necessary to bring it to life. Trust that every action you take toward honoring your worth brings you closer to this reality. Let's talk about why hope matters so much in moments of uncertainty. Hope isn't just a feeling, it's a choice. It's choosing to believe that better days are ahead. even when the present feels heavy. It's holding on to the truth that you are worthy of love that uplifts, not tears down. When you embrace hope, you shift your perspective from limitation to possibility. You stop seeing challenges as roadblocks and start viewing them as stepping stones. Each obstacle becomes an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more aligned with the extraordinary love you deserve. Now, imagine carrying this hope with you as you move forward. Imagine letting it guide your decisions, inspire your actions, and remind you of your infinite potential. Picture yourself walking away from anything that diminishes your spirit and toward everything that elevates it. This journey won't always feel easy, but it will always feel worth it. Worth the discomfort, the uncertainty, the moments of doubt, and the triumph that comes on the other side. Because when you choose hope, you choose freedom. Freedom to rediscover who you are, freedom to dream bigger, and freedom to attract relationships that reflect your highest aspirations. As you step into this future, remember this. Love isn't meant to break you, it's meant to build you up. It's meant to remind you of your strength, celebrate your individuality, and fill your life with joy. If he truly loves you, it won't be complicated. It will feel like coming home, a sanctuary where you can rest, recharge, and be fully yourself. That kind of love exists, and it starts with believing you deserve it. Trust yourself, honor your worth, and embrace the limitless possibilities waiting for you. Keep listening to your inner voice. It's leading you exactly where you're meant to go. Trust the process, trust your journey, and trust the incredible person you are becoming. The love you've been searching for isn't lost. It's waiting for you to step into alignment with it. Take action today, no matter how small, because every step you take brings you closer to the extraordinary connection you were born to experience. Love that feels steady, secure, and unconditional is within your reach. All it takes is the courage to claim it and the belief that you are worthy of nothing less.